So welcome to our new baseball podcast, because I'm not going to talk about football today after this past week. I'm just kidding. Welcome to the Off Script podcast. We have changed the name. We've changed the logo. So go check that out. I want to shout out my girlfriend. She actually created the logo right off of her phone. I thought that was pretty impressive. I didn't know she was into that stuff. But the Chiefs and the 49ers have officially made the Super Bowl. So we thought we'd bring on a 49ers fan today. This is Joe Morris, who is the brother of Jake. If you can't tell, they look just alike. And once again, Jake is with us again. Jake, thank you for joining us. And we are having some drinks today because it is Friday. We did not release a podcast last week just because I was going through some shit with the Ravens and being at the game. So, Joe, how are you feeling about your 49ers?
You know, I'm ecstatic about it. You know, back in here again, we've lost the last two NFC Championship games. You know, we just, back against the Chiefs. Hopefully we get that revenge.
Yeah, for sure. Jake, what do you think about the games this weekend?
I was very surprised by one of them. The other one, I was surprised about both of them, to be honest. But I expected the Ravens to win. I'll say that. I know we're going to hop into it more a little bit later, but expected the Ravens to win, expected the 49ers to win. 49ers won in a more surprising fashion, I guess. But I guess we'll dive into it a little bit more later on. But
another reason why I'm standing on this side is because I wanted no Ravens stuff behind me, so I changed it up today. So I let them have all the Ravens stuff behind them. I'm actually turning into a Commanders fan here shortly.
You don't want to do that.
What do you think about the Dan Quinn hiring?
I'm indifferent to it, if I'm going to be honest. I wasn't excited about it. I wasn't like upset about it until after the fact, when I think you actually tweeted that we chose Dan Quinn when we still had Mike Vrabel, Bill Belichick, and Pete Carroll still out there. So,
I'm surprised Mike Vrabel didn't get. I don't think he even got an interview.
Not that I know of. And we interviewed Bill Belichick, and I guess we just decided Dan Quinn was our guy.
Pete Carroll take a job in the front office with Seattle?
Yes, but he was interviewed for a head coaching job with one of the teams, I think, which was surprising as well. I think he got fired.
From everything I've read, is he still wanted to head coach, or be the head coach, or at least go coach somewhere else. But I guess they just thought Pete Carroll was past his time.
I wish the Ravens would do that with John Harbaugh. But let's start off the week with our videos of the week. So I want to start with this one. Actually, me and Joe were just talking about this before we started the podcast. But my video of the week is this, which is Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce apparently throwing Justin Tucker's stuff.
He definitely did it.
Yeah. So I was pretty pissed off about this one.
Yeah, and you were right in the end zone above this. And
right
so
there.
What was your raw reaction to this?
Yeah, so I actually didn't see the video until after, but so I saw it live happen. So I saw Patrick Mahomes go over to Justin Tucker. He looked a little bit pissed off. Everybody could tell. They started booing him. Then Travis Kelce comes out of nowhere and just grabs his stuff and throws it. Obviously, the whole fan base went after Travis Kelce. So I wanted both of it. I know that we talked about it a little bit, but both of your thoughts on this situation. And do you think that Travis Kelce was right for doing this, or do you think it was a little bit of an overreaction?
I think it was a little bit of an overreaction because, like we discussed earlier, but like every kicker does this. They all, and like everyone that's been to a game early enough, like they know that specialists are out there first. Like they're the ones warming up first, and they all have like different routines, but it's always the same thing. Like I even saw somebody said Harrison Butker was literally on the opposite side of the field, so on the Ravens side doing the exact same thing. So I saw something today, a tweet that said something like Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce were trying to come in and bully the bully pretty much and get under the Ravens' skin almost. Seems like it might have worked a little bit, but I
don't know if it worked at all, honestly.
Well, I mean,
it might have helped them in all reality.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like they came in and were trying to bully the bully, who was the Ravens. Like the Ravens are known for being the hard-nosed, like punch in the mouth sort of team, and I guess they were trying to come in and set a tone or something. And I guess maybe that's what they were trying to do, but I think it's a little bit disrespectful. Like I get it, like you don't want your quarterback like have any. I know this might be an overreaction, but like any chance of him stepping on the equipment and getting hurt and like he's sticking up for his quarterback, but like I think it's a little soft out of Travis Kelce picking on the kicker of the team. Like I think that's my biggest takeaway from it is that he did it to Justin Tucker and like not any of the other players.
Yeah,
at least until the game started.
You know, the way I feel about it is, coaching high school football, CSD Vikings, let's go. I don't really have a problem with it, you know. I mean, it's a big game, it's a big moment. You want your guys to feel very confident about the way they're going into this game. Like, hey man, like get your shit out of here. Like I'm warming up here. And, if they just so happen if Pat Mahomes was dumb enough to step on that helmet and break an ankle, they don't have a shot in that game at all anyway. So the way I feel about it is, it's a big game. It's a lot riding on it. You're feeling good. Like Travis Kelce's like, hey man, get your shit out of here. I'm warming up. Like
I get both sides.
I do. I'm with both sides.
I get both sides. I think
I love Justin Tucker at the end of the day. So, I mean, it is what it is.
I think it's funny how they came after a kicker, which was hilarious in my opinion. It looked like Patrick Mahomes was a little bit more mature about it, like coming over to him and say, like, move your stuff. Like, I feel like Travis Kelce probably should have done the same. Or they could have moved. Patrick Mahomes could have moved. Like, this is Baltimore field.
Did you see the clip, though? And, like, I don't know what happened. I guess it happened. The Travis Kelce thing happened afterwards. Like, Patrick Mahomes was blatantly, like, kicking Justin Tucker's, like, stand or whatever.
Yeah, I saw that, too.
So I'm assuming that happened before, and he, like, maybe asked him to move or something. But it's like, I don't know. Again, I see both sides, but it's like you could move over a little bit.
How do you feel though? Like Patrick Mahomes tweeted out or something, said that 3 times that this has happened, it's all been in Baltimore.
Yeah. What's weird though is nobody else has ever complained about it. So I'm like, it must be something with the Chiefs and how they do their routine, like in the middle of the field, like where the kickers are. I guess that's where the disconnect is.
I've never seen though, like just in my years of watching high school, I've never, in high school technically, you have your 50-yard line. If you go on the other side, referees are probably throwing a flag on you. Yeah. And I've seen this before, with CSD and Y High. Y High ran down our sideline and we told our players to run through their warm-ups. Like I've seen it, it's just it's a head game thing is really what it is to me.
Yeah, for sure.
There was a lot of competitive nature there. I guess that's what it boils down to. But
I think the stuff after though, right?
And to be honest, let's talk about if it wasn't Travis Kelce, it wouldn't be such a big deal.
Yeah,
if
maybe
it wasn't Travis Kelce.
Yeah, probably not. But Travis
I want to
Kelce
see him
knows.
do that to Roquan Smith though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you're picking on the smallest guy on the field. Like, come on, dude. Yeah. All right, so I'll play Jake's video of the week. I have not seen this, and I don't think Joe has either. But
all right. I'll explain
all those people that doubted us and hated on us and thought we were gonna lose this game.
Let's go.
Was that it?
No.
This is a bad idea coming from a Ravens fan. Terrible idea. Only one man can save us all.
Yeah. So it's like a minute long video. So I think we get the gist of it.
Yeah, I get it.
It's what's hilarious. Like I love these videos. There's another one.
I'm trying to stop the video. There we go.
So obviously going off of last week, it was Lamar Jackson that everyone was making these videos about. And so what I thought was very comical about it is that we went from Lamar Jackson, the MVP of the league, to not hating on him, but to Mr. Irrelevant, Mr. Brock Purdy being the center of the attention now. And the other one I almost sent you was and I've seen a lot of variations of them, so I don't know if you've seen them yet, but they also did Brock Purdy where he's like in college and he does this little spin and point.
Yeah, I've seen that.
They do the Michael Jackson Pretty Young thing.
Dude, those are fire.
Those are phenomenal.
Those are the transition is just so fire.
Yeah, so I almost sent you that one, but I was like, it's just so funny that we had Lamar Jackson being the person the only one that can save us, and now we've got Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy as the one that can only save us.
Joe brought this up earlier. I did make a TikTok where I put my hands up and said, "Please, Lamar Jackson, please save us." I got a lot of hate for that on Twitter, saying that I'm weird. It was a joke. Okay, I'm not praying to Lamar Jackson, so we can get over that. So before we get started, I want to play a game with you guys. So favorite drinks drafts. So we're going to draft our favorite drinks that you would have before a football game. So you get 5 picks. And each person, so we're going to go 1 person, 2 person, 3 person.
Snake draft?
Yeah, snake draft. So you're going to get 2 picks. Okay. I'll go first. So my first pick in the drink draft before a football game is going to be a Michelob Ultra, just because that's my personal favorite. It's a light beer, it doesn't make me feel like crap. And also, I think hard liquor is a bad choice for any football game, but that's just me. Joe, I'll let you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little old here, and I'm gonna drink water, and I'm gonna, go ahead and hydrate before I get into the hard stuff.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Bold. No, smart choice, but pussy.
Not what I was thinking of going for,
Yeah.
but
I'm gonna. Where am I gonna go with? Because I thought you were gonna go with like Corona as a bold 101.
Yeah.
I know you love some Corona.
but you can't have it. Well, I guess you can. But
Yeah. I'm a very seasonal Corona drinker. Like it's got to be like warm.
I
that
can
sort of
have
thing.
it every day of the week.
Yeah. So that's where we're different. And I need a lime in it every time.
Yeah.
I've seen you drinking it without a lime. You maniac.
If you don't have it, you got to do. what
Yeah,
you
that's
gotta
true.
do.
That's true. All right. So with my first pick, I am gonna go with, and I know it's been hated on, but it's making a comeback. Just signed Shane Gillis to a sponsor. Give me a Bud Light. Give me a
Bud Light. Wow.
I know.
Wow. At
I know.
103.
I know.
That's crazy.
It's a lot
No
of hate,
judging.
A lot
No
of hate
judging.
behind it. I know, and that's not any of my political views or anything like that. I'm just saying.
No, it is.
Can I actually go back on that? Can I change that Bud to a Miller, please?
Pussy.
And then with my next one, I'll take a high noon. How about
High
that?
noon. That one's a good one. I'll go with that. I'll ride with that. Joe, you're up next. You have water on the board.
It was my dad's favorite drink, and leading into this, and rest in peace, Dad. But a Coors Light, a good
Coors Light,
Coors
that one's a
Light
good one.
with the mountains real blue. They got to be
yes.
blue. I don't want no daggone Coors Light or the mountains half-ass blue. It's
Yeah.
got to be blue.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
for
saying?
sure. I
Like
agree.
cold.
I'm going to go with Corona. That one seems like an easy one. It seems like you missed the ball on that one. You really went with Bud Light over Corona.
Yeah. I know, but like before all the conspiracy, like Bud Light was 101. Let's be honest.
Okay, I'm gonna go with.
By the public. I wouldn't say that's
It's
my
not even
101.
that good.
I honestly I agree with that. Like once when I first started drinking, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do Bud Light. Like everyone says Bud Light, but honestly, kind of mid, I guess. Or like I have bold choice on my part. I'll admit it.
Yeah,
But go ahead and make your next pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go with. Oh, this one's tough. I'll go with Miller. I'll take Miller Lite. I'm going to try to take as many beers off the board as I can. Joe, you're up next.
I like that pick though, Matt. You know why? Because whenever I've gone to a Ravens game, we go up top there where the DJ's playing and
Yeah.
everything like that. Real good time. Cheerleaders come up there and everything, and I always get 2 giant ass Miller Lights.
Yeah.
Like I like it.
I have to be in the
mood.
mood for it though. Like it's not like an everyday beer, but it's like
No, it's not an
up there.
everyday thing. It's really not. I'm gonna go with especially if it's a little bit colder outside. I'm gonna go with a couple shots of Fireball,
Oh my God!
boy.
Wow.
and I mean
Wow.
a couple shots.
I cannot stand Fireball.
Yeah, well,
I think it's the cinnamon.
We
I
take
just can't.
we take
do
a
it.
shot every round at my fantasy football draft.
Oh yeah, he
So
told
that's
me that.
15
That's
shots
I
of
can
crazy.
confirm.
Fireball.
I can
That's
confirm.
nuts. I would throw up. Did
The
you?
only time I drink Fireball all year.
Did you throw up?
No, we
Has
definitely
anybody
we've
thrown
had
up?
some casualties.
I mean, we've definitely. I'm gonna have
we
to
can
send,
pull up a picture
Yeah, we're
of
gonna have
me
to pull up some
carrying
pictures
someone.
of him carrying
I would love to
somebody
pull
up
up
the
pictures.
steps. Yeah, like a baby. Yeah. And then we had a little, hot tub involved.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that go on. Like
Yeah.
my fantasy drafts are pretty wild. Not as good as I have to say as y'all's draft being at Ravens Stadium. Like that is badass.
It looks
So
like
the
you
thing-
got to join our fantasy draft next year because we're going back.
Yeah.
we're
And see,
going
the thing
back.
about that is like we didn't get as drunk though, but we were locked in.
Me and
we
Jake were the most locked in, and that's why we made the chip.
Yep, and that's why we were the two in the championship.
And that's why I beat Jake's ass in the championship.
Oh,
But-
shit.
I won one. That's fine. I actually beat him, so we got a little triangle going.
All right,
on
Jake,
here.
give us your third pick.
All right, with my third pick, well, you already took the hard liquor off, but you know what? Give me a Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke, that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Especially when it's cold out. That one's a good
Can't
pick.
go wrong. All right, and then this one might surprise you guys. I'm gonna go with a Modelo.
Modelo. I actually have never drank a Modelo
Really?
in my life.
Really?
You
Yeah.
literally just stole my pick.
Did I? Yeah, actually,
literally stole my
I was
pick.
just down in Tampa at Gasparilla, and that's I wasn't big on Modelo, and then my two college roommates that I met down there, they got like a 30 rack of it, and I was like, you know what? I can't remember the last time I drank one of these, and I drank one. I was like, wow, this is
Never
something.
had one in my life. Honestly,
Very good.
I'll give it a try. It seems like a bougie beer.
It's one of those things where you got to be in the mood for it too.
Yeah.
Just it's not one of those things that you just grab, and put in your fridge and be like, I'll drink these every night.
Yeah, for sure.
No. I'm gonna go on the other side. I'm gonna go Crown and Coke.
Crown and Coke. That one's a good pick
I'm
too.
gonna go Crown and Coke.
Do you go with regular Crown or do you go with
Man, I'm a huge. Honestly, anything really with peach.
Peach, the peach Crown is good.
Peach Crown is really good. I just it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But I'm not a huge fan of drinking that straight. just throwing that out there.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm definitely gonna be the guy hanging over a trash can. I'm drinking that straight.
Yeah. Me and Matt were on a kick for a long time of Crown Vanilla.
Yeah,
Coke.
Crown Vanilla is
Never
fire.
had that
Coke.
before.
It's like
Really?
if you put Coke in it, it makes it like a vanilla Coke. So
Nice.
it's really good. So I'll go with a Tito's and Sprite.
Solid.
I had to get Tito's off the board because I just feel like that's my go-to liquor. Oh man, all the beers are gone here. I was gonna say Budweiser, but I really don't drink it. You know what? This one is off course, and this one you guys, a lot of people don't drink it, but I'm going to go with Neutral. Neutral is a great seltzer. If you haven't tried it, go check it out. Not sponsored.
You're watching your figure. Watching your figure.
It is so much. So if you like High Noon, it's like less, I guess, flavorful. Like it's not as like hit you in the mouth like type of thing. So I'm gonna go with Neutral on that. Joe, last pick.
I'm gonna shout out my boy Tellurian on this one, and I'm gonna simmer down the night with something easy like a White Claw.
White Claw.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like my boy Tellurian, he's like, you always gotta drink the White Claw at the end of the day. After you're feeling kind of loopy. So I'm gonna shout out my boy Tellurian on that one.
Well, I guess I'm going the complete opposite direction of you two. Give me a fucking margarita.
Margarita.
Give me a margarita.
During football season?
Yeah. Margaritas are good anytime. Give me a little salt in the brim. Give me a heavy pour tequila.
I don't know. I had a margarita in Disney. We went and did the drinking around the world a couple years ago.
Awesome.
Oh my god. Dude.
Did that too.
But we went to Mexico to do it. I guess Mexico to do it.
Technically.
Yeah. And a heavy pour of tequila. Like I couldn't even finish it.
I'm the type of person that I want to taste the alcohol in my drink. Like I don't want it to be like I can't taste the alcohol. Like I want that little bit of bite to it, that little bit of
Absolutely.
like that little bit of burns in the back of your throat. So I think I'd enjoy that. That's why I love me a good heavy pour margarita.
Well, we gotta talk.
There we have it.
Yeah, we gotta talk about it, and I don't want to move on to it, but we have to. Since we didn't come out with a podcast this week. Ravens versus Chiefs recap. I will let you guys go first. My first question is why did the Ravens lose this game?
First, before we get started here, okay?
Yeah. I think we have a
I've got something for you.
Because great. So before I read this, earlier in the season when the Ravens beat the Niners, I gave Jake a gift for Joe that said the score of the game when the Ravens beat the shit out of the Niners. So now he's giving me my gift back. And it is a huge fucking L. And I mean the biggest L you could ever make. So great. I will wear that with pride. Let's move on. Jake, give me your thoughts.
I want to get a piece of tape.
Might as well just wear it the rest of it and just put it right on here.
Okay.
All love, though.
I deserve it. I deserve it. I talked a lot of shit.
Told you I had a surprise
deserve
for
it.
you.
I deserve it.
Well, what he told me was he's going to show up here with a white T-shirt that he's going to put "Fuck Lamar Jackson."
I was.
That would have been fair if they made the Super Bowl, but they didn't make the Super Bowl.
And that's what changed my mind.
I'm glad you had the good.
That's what changed my mind. About
that one would have really hurt.
If it was me versus you in the Super Bowl, absolutely, I would have showed up with that shirt. I had a shirt maker ready and everything.
Oh God!
I did. Yep.
But obviously, we don't have that. So let's hop into this game. What I will say is that, before I answer the question, is that this was a different Ravens team than we've seen all year. Like, I did not understand what the fuck they were doing. Like, first of all, like the play calling, that was very obvious. Like, we only ran the ball 8 times with running backs. Like, the Ravens have leaned on that, and if not, then Lamar Jackson is scrambling his ass off all over the field. I don't know how many times exactly he scrambled for, but he seemed like he was trying to like prove people wrong or something. Like, he was trying to make throws and like and he's done that very well throughout the season. So like, I don't know why he's trying to like prove that point, but they just did like defensively, they look like the same team. Besides those first 2 drives, like it's whatever. It's Patrick Mahomes, like, and him and Travis Kelce found some chemistry towards the end of the season. So like, it's bound to happen. But after that, I mean, they didn't score in the second half. Like, so the Ravens defense figured it out, but that offense just did not look like anything that we've seen all season long. So I don't understand what happened, whether it was play calling, whether it was just the head coach in general, or it was just like, it was too big of a moment. Like, I don't understand what happened. Like, I believe that Lamar is still a top 5, top 3 quarterback in the league. So like, I don't know who to put the blame on, and I can't tell you why they lost other than they just were not the same team that they had been the previous 19, 20 weeks before that. So that's my only view on that entire game.
Oh, what I take out of that game is, I mean, it was clearly coaching for me. Just in general, because I've been in those moments as a coach, and I'm like, damn. Like, when I go back and look at tape, and I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Why did I run the ball?
Can I ask you something as a coach? So when you're in those situations, and let's say you were dominant all year long, like as a coach, when you're watching the game, like unfold in a big moment, can you tell when you're not being, like for the Ravens, for example, would you be able to tell as a coach, like, we're not running the football? Like, why are we not doing that?
Honestly, as a play caller and myself, as I do through youth and high school, you don't really pay attention to that kind of stuff. You're kind of in the moment of, like, man, this is really working right now. I'm going to go ahead and stick with this, and sometimes it may end up being 5 passes in a row. I did it to myself this year in a youth football championship game. Like, they could not stop our pass, and I continued to run this football over and over and over again. And yeah, we moved down the field, but like, we were scoring in one pass touchdowns in our youth football championship game. And, I went back and I looked at tape and I was like, man, I really should have just thrown all over these guys all day long. It's just something that you get caught up in. You really don't pay attention.
Does it get emotional?
You look at the defense and you're like, damn, like, all right, they're giving me this. So this is going to be open. Like, I can run a counter here, or, I can run a zone left or a zone right. Like, I have those options open. It's tough. It is. It's tough until you honestly go back and you watch the tape. You're like, man, I really fucked up there. Like, there's a lot of things that go into making a game plan. I mean, just this past year, we lost to Fort Hill in a state semifinal, and we thought we could throw on them. Well, guess what? It didn't happen. And then when your throwing game isn't there, they were just stronger than us. Right. You don't really know until you watch the tape afterwards.
Right.
You get in a rhythm and you think it's there.
But if the rhythm's not there, though, like.
But also at some point, like, you have so many analysts and so many coaches around you. Like,
Yeah,
at
it's
some
different
point,
in the NFL because you're on your own at that point.
Yeah.
Like, it's more of like you have so many like data guys saying in your ear, like, go for it here. Like, why are we not running the ball? Like, and also if you're a play caller, right, and you have a head coach, you have defensive coordinator, like, somebody has to step up and say, what the
at some
fuck?
point, why does John Harbaugh not step in and is like, what the fuck are we doing?
That's the problem that
you're
I
getting
have.
paid millions of dollars to coach this game, and you've got other guys on this staff. You got a receivers coach, and you probably have an assistant receiver. You probably have 2 coaches per position. Somebody has to step up and say something in that situation because Baltimore was too good all season long, and their game is running the football. And to see them only run the ball 8 times, especially after Lamar had a 30-yard run, I think it was on their second drive, I believe.
Yeah, it was. He had a designed 30-yard run on fourth down.
And then he had his own catch for 13 yards, which was
play of
really
the year.
cool. But, I do, recapping, I do put the interception on him. I don't care who you are. You can't
agree.
throw in you've got
Triple
3 people
coverage.
covered
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
It's triple covered. You don't make that throw. I don't care if Isaiah Likely is the best receiver out there. I don't care. And I like the kid. I think he's going to be a hell of a football player.
Yeah.
But he could throw his hand all he wants that they said that he did. I didn't see it. I don't care. You're a $250-some million quarterback. You don't make that throw.
The MVP of the league. Yeah.
You don't make that throw.
And he didn't make those kind of throws all year,
And
right?
what we
Exactly.
were
Yeah.
talking about earlier, you watched tape. Rashad Bateman, I guarantee was probably open on that play because, like we were saying, 50% of the time is what you said?
Yeah, it was a lot. So I went. So if you don't know, you can go and buy the NFL Plus or whatever and watch tape. So right after the game, I was so pissed off like the next day, and I went and watched it. And Rashad Bateman, and it's been known all year, at least from Ravens Twitter and Ravens like resources, like he is one of the best route runners in football. He gets open, and there were plenty of times throughout the game where Rashad Bateman was getting open. He was, I think it was L'Jarius Sneed or Trent McDuffie. He was cooking them all game. Like it wasn't even like it wasn't even like he got open on one play. Like he was open, it felt like 50% of the time, which is wild to me. But I don't know.
But you have triple coverage on that interception throw. Somebody's open.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, OBJ
Somebody's
was open coming across.
And that's something else we talked about is OBJ. Like, where was he at? Like, why do we not have something in there for this man who has been in this position before, who is a very, possession receiver? Like, he catches almost everything. Like, he is a good receiver still. He's a veteran guy, and
great in the playoffs, too.
yeah. And,
Great in
and
the
the one
playoffs.
thing I will say about this is I've seen a lot of hate for Zay Flowers. I don't agree with it. Zay Flowers is a young kid trying to make a big play in a big game. I don't fault the kid at all. And I tell you what, if I was a coach, I'd walk over to him, I'd put my hand on his shoulder, and I'd tell him, son, I'm not mad at you. Like, you're going to be a ball. He is better than Hollywood Brown would have even imagined to be. Zay Flowers is going to be
Zay
a stud in
Flowers
this
was
league.
what we thought Hollywood Brown was
Absolutely.
going
Exactly.
to be.
No, absolutely.
1,000. And they're not comparable, right? Because a lot of people, when we drafted Zay, a lot of people were saying, oh, we just got another Hollywood Brown. Like, the route running is just, out of this world,
No, it is.
good.
It is. No, Zay Flowers is going to be a baller, and I can't wait to see what he has for years to come.
Yeah, another problem that I have is a lot of Ravens fans are saying we should draft a receiver. And at this point, I think Bateman is a great number 2, and I think Zay Flowers is going to be a number 1. So I don't even see, and that's another problem that I have is a lot of people are blaming like the receivers and like saying the Ravens need more help. Like, no, they had everything that they needed to win a Super Bowl.
The only thing else they could have used was a healthy Mark Andrews.
Yes, for sure. They could have.
But even down the stretch, they were down
I
there
don't
without
think
him.
Mark
But
should have even
Isaiah
played.
Likely is a baller too.
Yeah.
Like, I will throw that out there.
Yeah,
Like,
he
had
think
some big games.
I think next year, what the Ravens have to do is learn how to have 2 tight end sets because they don't run it a lot. They also didn't know how special Isaiah Likely was
Correct.
too.
I
So
agree.
not to blame them on that part.
Yeah.
But I mean, for John Harbaugh to just go into here's my problem, right? So I think John Harbaugh, I've been saying this all week. I think he should be fired. And the reason isn't because he's not a good head coach. I think if he gets fired tomorrow, somebody will pick him up and they'll fire their head coach for John Harbaugh tomorrow. Completely fine with me. But I said this in the video, and it's, the things that have changed with the Ravens is personnel. They've changed their offensive and defensive coordinators. They have changed rosters for the past 4 years. They built around Lamar Jackson. They even changed the they changed Ozzie Newsome to Eric DeCosta. Everything has changed. The one variable that has not changed is John Harbaugh. And if John Harbaugh did not have Joe Flacco throw a 70-yard crazy completion in Denver, he would have 0 Super Bowl rings. So, and a lot of people say like, oh, he's a Super Bowl winning head coach like 11 years ago. Like Bill Belichick got fired and he has 6 rings. Like, we need to see it from a perspective. And to let Mike McDonald go, who I think is going to be a great head coach in Seattle, and I think he's going to change that franchise back to where they were at one point. I don't know. I think the problem is him. I don't think it's going to change. The same thing happened in 2019. They were the best rushing team of all time, and then they go and throw the ball 58 times against Tennessee. Same thing happened in 2020 against the Bills, one of the greatest rushing teams of all time. They threw the ball 40 times with Lamar Jackson. Like, I get the blame on Lamar Jackson, and he should be accounted for, and I will blame him myself because he's $250 million man, right? But you have to play to his strengths. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not, even Josh Allen. He's not him. He's his own player, and you have to scheme around that, and they just didn't do that, and I don't know why.
And they did it all season long, and he's going to be the unanimous MVP, I would think. So, I don't understand why they went away from that.
I mean, when you look at it,
this game.
every quarterback in the NFL is a system quarterback.
Except for Mahomes.
You're supposed to build.
Except for Mahomes.
You're supposed to build your offense around your franchise quarterback. No matter what his strength is, you're supposed to build around him.
Yes.
Okay? And, Mahomes is just on a whole different level right now. Mahomes is...
I would say him and Josh Allen could play in any system. I would say those two guys, and then everybody else, they need a lot of help.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But let's talk about the Chiefs a little bit. What were you guys impressed with the Chiefs? Are once again in the Super Bowl. Like, holy shit. Like, I hate it.
What's that, 6 AFC championships in a row?
Like, that's why I'm also not too upset, because these guys, this is a dynasty.
Yeah.
And, like, they are just super impressive. What have they done over the postseason that has made you guys, say, I can't believe it?
Well, for me, we're looking at the New England Patriots, okay? What did New England have? A great quarterback and a great tight end, and some mediocre wide receivers.
Yeah.
Now, I do think Rashid Rice is going to be a baller. I like Rashid Rice. But that's what we're looking at right now. Like, you don't have to go out there and have, these top-notch wide receivers and this and that. Like, if you get yourself a great quarterback, a great tight end, and you got some guys on defense that are just flying around to the ball and making plays, like Snead did on Zay Flowers. After didn't he just get a penalty before that?
Yeah.
I just think we're looking at the New England Patriots. They have done, and Andy Reid knows what he's doing. Like, Andy Reid is going to go down as one of the greatest coaches of all time. He's just that guy. Like, I loved him in Philly, and he did the same thing in Kansas City. Kansas City right now is the New England Patriots, what we saw through the all 2000s and 2010s and everything else. Just, it is what it is.
No, honestly, that's a really great comparison. Like, I didn't really think about it like that. Like, especially this season, it's been Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. And I would say in this game particularly, I don't think anything really impressed me about the Chiefs other than Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce doing what they do. Like, I don't feel like that connection has been what it's been. But I would say the other thing that impressed me about the Chiefs just in general is that the first 5 years that they made it to AFC Championship, they were always offense is what we rely on. Like, offense is always going to bail us out. They have in one season flipped that to, okay, we have a great defense now, and that our offense just has to do enough to get us a win in these games.
Yeah, they scored 17 points.
And
it wasn't like they
AFC
scored 30,
game. Yeah.
right?
So they were able, and it's credit to Andy Reid. It's credit to all the leaders in their locker room. Like, they were able to flip it from we're going to rely on our offense all the time, like we're going to score a bunch of points and just outscore every team, to all right, our defense is good enough to stop these teams like they just did to the Ravens. We only need to score 17 points. They did that. They won. So they were able to completely flip the script of what they used to rely on, and it's just it's scary, honestly, for the 49ers to see that Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes are back on the level they did. I think. I can't remember what he finished with, but I mean, he had over 10 catches. I know he had 11 for sure, over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
A touchdown.
A touchdown. In this past
Which was
game.
a phenomenal throw
against Kyle Hamilton.
What
Who
was
is the best safety in football.
No, Kyle Hamilton is going to be an all-pro safety. But that was a beautiful throw by Pat Mahomes to Travis Kelce, back shoulder. Like, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, for sure. I think another thing is we talked about last week. We talked about Patrick Mahomes being the GOAT, which he is, and I will stand by that until the day that I die. He is my GOAT at this point just because of the way that he plays the game of football. I think it's way more impressive than what Brady ever did in New England. But also, one of the things that we've touched on, right, is switching from an offensive team to a defensive team. That's coaching. So to me, like, Andy Reid's getting up there in like the GOAT status for me too,
Absolutely.
because if he goes and wins the Super Bowl with a team who was completely different from the past couple teams, like, it proved that he can be more than just Patrick Mahomes. Because everybody was like, with Brady, they were like, at first, Bill Belichick has a great defense. It is what it is. Then he had an elite offense and won the Super Bowl. He had an elite defense. Like, it didn't matter. And it's the same thing with Andy Reid at this point. It's saying, like, no matter what you give me, as long as I'm elite on one side of the football and have the guys, like, I will get the most out of them. And
How about we give a little shout out, though, to Coach Spags?
Yeah. He needs a head coaching job.
I tell you what, that guy, has done some amazing things with the Kansas City Chiefs defense at the right time. Some people look at it, man, their defense isn't very good, but when it needs to be good, they are
great.
good.
Yeah.
Like, they are really good. Their coverages, their blitz packages, all that. Like, they are good. Like, Spags, thumbs up to you, sir. You
How has
deserve
he
it.
not gotten the head coaching, like, interview? I don't think I've ever heard of him getting even an interview, which is crazy because they had almost the same statistical season as Baltimore. Baltimore just had more sacks and turnovers, but the point differential was almost the same, which is like mind blowing to me.
That's what I definitely don't understand. It's like, I get the Eric Bieniemy thing of him not getting head coaching thing because you've got Andy Reid that's overshadowing you and everything. But like, I can't imagine Andy Reid has all that much to do with the defensive calling and everything like that. So it kind of blows my mind that Spags has not gotten at least like an interview for a head coaching job, or it's like not the top like candidate.
Yeah,
because like you said, like, they don't always play great. I mean, except this season, like, they've been pretty damn solid. Like, but they in the big moments they show up and they were solid ass defense. Yeah,
every single time. Now, what about? Okay, I gotta ask you guys because I have opinions on it. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. There's been a lot of talks about those two and how annoying it can get. Does anybody here care about it? From a man's perspective, because everybody says men are soft for like being annoyed by it. So I'm wondering your guys' thoughts on it.
I don't have a problem with it. Okay, what do we see her for? Maybe a total of 1 minute this past weekend, like the entire game on TV. Like, I don't have a problem with it. It's a girlfriend there supporting her boyfriend playing the game that he loves to play. I mean, I can say that my girlfriend, now wife, was at every one of my high school football games supporting me. So it's like, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, let's be honest here. Like, Taylor Swift is the biggest like star in probably the world right now.
Yeah,
like,
which is crazy.
So like, I don't understand the hate on it. Like, I don't like, and like you just said, she gets screen time. Yes, more than like any other like celebrity does, but it's fucking Taylor Swift. Like,
yeah, I don't think people are getting that. They're like, why do the other girlfriends or the wives not get the same screen time? And it's like,
yeah.
You're not Taylor Swift.
Look up how much Taylor Swift just earned this past year and just how big of a star she is.
Also, if you look at it, though, I think a lot of these other girlfriends actually stay on the sidelines, on the field, down, in their area.
They can go there pregame, but Taylor doesn't do that, which is weird. Well, I guess not weird. I guess she's such a big star.
But I will say that I saw something too. Like, I had it was a Ravens, actually, somebody that was working the suites. And they said she was one of the most genuine, nice people that they've ever met. And she was really apologetic about, these, the guys and workers having to go out of their way, to get her there and everything else. And she gave them all $100 tip. Like,
holy shit, I did not hear about that.
Like, who? Yeah. I was just reading about it the other day. Like, I mean, she was just like, I'm so sorry you guys got to go out of my way, to get me to here and this and that. And she gave them all, $100 tip. Like, it's
yeah, I bet it sucks for her too, right? Because I don't think it's Taylor Swift that people hate. I think it's her fans. because her fans are weird. Like, let's be 100% honest. Like, I don't give a shit like about Taylor Swift at all. I don't personally listen to her music, right? I don't care, but I don't care if she's being shown. The first thing that I did when I got to that stadium on Sunday, I was like, where is Taylor Swift? Because I want to see her. Because she's that big of a star. And we were looking all around, and I was like, we finally found her, and I felt starstruck. Like even if I don't know her or like even like care for her music, like just respecting the fact of how big she is, like whatever. But I personally think it's just weird how her fans are. They need to know what she eats every day. They need to know who she dates. They need to know how the relationship's going. That is the problem that I have. But it's good for the NFL, right? And everybody's complaining about how much money the NFL is making. Shit, if I own that business, I'm showing Taylor Swift way more than a minute on that broadcast.
That gets like one of my good friends, and Owen, like he was saying that it's scripted because they wanted Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl and everything like that.
Dude. Owen, I love you, buddy, but it's not. Do you know how hard it would be to get? There are 53 players on the roster, not including coaches, not including GMs, not including anybody in the organization. They would all have to hide that forever. Like, not just like for the year, for their career. Like, it would have to go forever. Like, it's literally impossible to script the NFL or any other. And everybody's like, well, the NFL is an entertainment business. So there's actually, I saw this lawyer on TikTok who went over that, and he said, yes, it's an entertainment business, but also by law, they cannot script games. It's literally in like the laws of whatever sporting events. They cannot script it just because of how much money is on it.
Imagine how crazy that would be, though. It's like they show these practices of them like actually practicing football, but off camera they're doing like rehearsals for like a play or some shit. Like this is what's gonna happen on this play, and we're gonna know all 100 and some plays that goes on this game, and this is exactly what you're gonna do.
And people are trying to get career jobs out of this. You're telling me they're gonna play like shit on purpose and not get paid? You're crazy.
Yeah, I'm baffled by the whole scripted thing. Like, I've been watching football for years. Like, how do you script it?
Yeah.
Same thing, if you're trying to say that any sport's scripted, I literally just started coaching baseball 3 years ago.
That's easier to script.
Well, it may be, but how can you predict that man's going to hit that home run and be like, hey, you're going to hit this home run off of this 98 mile an hour fastball that's coming at you?
Yeah.
Like NFL, like, how are you going to say, hey, you got to catch this ball on this play? Who's to say that quarterback doesn't, ball doesn't slip out of his hands or it's a bad throw? Like, to script something so big,
too much going on.
It's just too much involved. Yeah, it's too much money. It's too much involved going on. You got people's livelihoods going on in here. Like, hey, you're going to get a season-ending injury right now.
Yeah.
Like,
I said, like, they can lose a lot of money.
You're going to have an MVP year, but he tears his ACL. Then where do you go from there?
Yeah,
this isn't WWE, people.
and we've seen these players that Chandler Jones, shout out Chandler Jones, like with the arguably CTE and all that stuff. Like, if it was a player like that doesn't give a fuck and will speak out. I don't care if it's an NDA or anything like that. Like, someone that gets told, hey, your season's over here and you're a rookie or something like that, like, someone's going to speak up at some point.
Yeah, there is no way. And they'll have to sign the contract. Like, they have lawyers who look over their contracts. It's literally impossible. Except for Rashad Mendenhall, I think, said one year that it was scripted, like, as a joke. And then everybody took it and ran with it.
Yeah, well, you got Arian Foster out there. Everywhere he goes, he says, oh, yeah, they gave us our scripts at the beginning of the year. Only a handful of people get these scripts.
Even the NFL is buying into it. They even post social media posts that say, like, the script was crazy.
Well, how about commercial with the guy from Key and Peele?
Exactly.
Well, how about
blanking on his name? I can't.
Well, how about Adam Schefter? He was on one of those things. He's like, yeah, it's totally scripted. And
you think those guys would joke about that? No, it just would never happen.
No.
Real quick, let's make this fast. Where would you rank Lamar Jackson in your top 10 after that performance? Jake, go first.
After that performance, like, I think I already said it, I'm still putting him in my top 5. I am. And what sucks is, like, his playoff performances, I do feel like people were wanting to bring him down and stuff like that. But with, especially, like, even if you look back at 2019, what the team had, like, it was nothing, like, near this team. And that sucks that they didn't make it further with this team. But, like, he took a team that had nothing to the playoffs, like, was the MVP and everything. So he's still in my top 5.
I'm not saying top 5. I think there's a lot of good quarterbacks in this league. He's definitely top 10, but I'm not putting him in my
Who's
top
better?
5. Well, that's
I'm curious. I'm just curious.
No, that's the
genuinely.
real question is, like, who is better? We don't, you look at some of these guys that are out there, like, I still don't know what Justin Herbert is yet.
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
Justin Herbert is going to be a phenomenal player in this league,
I'm a Justin Herbert
especially
elite rider.
with Jim Harbaugh hire. You had an idiot coach out there. I don't know what Justin Herbert's going to be yet. You just saw Jordan Love throw for, 22 touchdowns and 1 interception in the last, 9 games?
Yeah, he's going to be
like,
great.
I think he's going to be
speaking my
really
language.
good.
Justin
Like,
Herbert, Jordan
You might
Love.
want to host it with him from now
I
on.
have
My
been
goodness.
freaking on those guys.
It's hard for me to say. I say there's a lot of great quarterbacks in this league. I still love Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is a phenomenal talent. Obviously, Pat Mahomes is number 1. Yeah. Nobody's jumping Pat Mahomes.
I think after that it gets sketchy.
Yeah,
you can kind of flip them.
And that's what I said. Like, it's dicey where you can put a lot of these quarterbacks. Right now.
Well, that's a lot of people were crowning Jalen Hurts the second best quarterback.
And then,
it's like you saw what happened this season.
But also, you look at those situations like a Jalen Hurts situation. I know this is off topic, but he loses offensive coordinator.
There you go. We talked about that a lot.
I think a lot of that has to do with it. Like Jim Harbaugh with Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
As soon as Jim Harbaugh left, what happened to Cap?
Yeah.
He fell off the face of this earth because we hired some idiot named Chip Kelly.
Who the Commanders might hire as their offensive coordinator.
So it's, that's why I said the NFL, when you talk about these quarterbacks, barring Pat Mahomes, they are system quarterbacks. They're system quarterbacks.
I can see that. I think so. What makes it hard, right, is one thing is I know is that Lamar is better than Joe Burrow. So I'm going to put that out there right now. Well, first of all, I want to put it out there because the Bengals fans have been fucking nuts ever since we lost this game. Let me explain something that Joe Burrow has accomplished 0 in his career except for making a Super Bowl, which, credit to him, great. Never won MVP, never been All-Pro. Like, I take those into consideration, and I think everybody should, because Pro Bowls, hell no. You should never take those into consideration.
Especially now.
Yeah, because we were talking the other day.
Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew is a Pro Bowl quarterback. He has as many Pro Bowls as Joe Burrow.
Well, I'll even come back to that. Tyler Huntley came in. Tyler Huntley, right?
He played like shit.
Like for Ravens, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so like he made a Pro Bowl.
So it's a joke. It's a running joke. He was the 11th alternative. So like that.
Okay,
but he does have it on his resume, right? And that can but like Joe Flacco never made a Pro Bowl, which is, I mean, he wasn't great, but he had good seasons, right?
You can argue with me on this, and I'm just going to say this out here. I watched Tyler Huntley take a Ravens team that almost beat the Cincinnati Bengals with a lesser Ravens team.
I won't do this.
You don't have. I'm just saying. I'm throwing my opinion out on this. I watched Tyler Huntley go to a playoff game and should have beat the Cincinnati Bengals.
So
with a Joe Burrow.
So let me give you this perspective.
Okay.
Is that the Ravens defense was really good in 2022. Got really good. And
but they
held
traded
Joe Burrow.
for Roquan that year, correct?
Yes, correct. Which made them even better. It made them one of the best defenses
and he
in
saved
football.
Patrick Queen's career.
Yes. And Patrick Queen's going to go get paid. Great for him.
Absolutely.
But, Tyler, like Lamar Jackson, it's hard for me to say Lamar wouldn't fumble at the 1 yard line because he has sucked in the playoffs. So he's making this fucking shit harder on me. But I truly believe that. Because Lamar Jackson was like 8-2 when he got hurt, and then Tyler Huntley went would he go 2-5 or something at that point? Like, the only reason they were in the playoffs was because of Lamar Jackson. So that's where I see the difference. But I would personally rank him third or second. If you switch up Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, I'm completely fine with it. I hated on Josh Allen all year, but just because he is one of the greatest playoff performers I've ever seen in the playoffs. And it sucks that he can't get over the Chiefs because I think he should have a Super Bowl by now. If he didn't have to play this Pat Mahomes team, dude might have 2 Super Bowls. So, Like, and even Lamar Jackson might have a Super Bowl this year. So who knows? Like, Patrick Mahomes is ruining all these quarterbacks' fucking careers, and I hate it.
Unfortunately, these some of these quarterbacks should be requesting trades to the NFC.
Yeah, dead ass at this point. But let's take a break and let's talk about our favorite foods. So I want to do a favorite food draft. Now, I only want to do 3 this time. So we each get 3. Okay. Make it a little bit easier on everybody. Now, this food only has to deal with football. So let's draft our favorite foods when watching football. So, Jake, I think you got the last pick last time, so I will let you go first this time.
Bet. This makes it so much easier on me. Give me wings.
Wings.
101. I think that's a consensus 101.
Yeah, for sure. Joe, I'll let you go second. I'll go last.
I'm gonna go with a nice like taco dip.
Taco dip.
Okay.
That one's
Bold.
good.
Bold?
Yeah, second pick a little bold. I think you could have gotten him later, but I'll go with buffalo chicken dip. That one's the best dip of mine, I think. And then I have to take it. It's not my favorite option, but it's on the board. It's gonna get taken. Got to go with pizza. Pizza, I'm going to take off the board as well. A really good drunk pizza, like slobbery, nasty, like Domino's pizza. Oh, my.
Down my, yep.
Oh, my.
Joe?
I'll go with meatballs, man.
Meatballs.
Okay.
Jake, you got your last 2.
Yeah. Oh, damn. I forgot. I had to do 2 here. All right. So
You want to go 5?
Huh?
You want to go 5?
No. I just forgot I have to do 2 back to back. You know what? So I'm gonna take this one's like solid. Like I don't think I'm requesting it, but give me nachos. Like I feel like the fact that it slipped to me here is
that's a good pick.
Yeah,
really good pick.
And then let me think. Game day. Oh, see, I have 2 in mind. So are we thinking just like appetizer type thing? Or
anything you want on game day?
Give me.
You just woke up in the morning. You put a beer in. It's 12 o'clock. You're really hungry.
Give me. Give me a Philly cheesesteak.
Don't you say
Oh,
it.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Philly cheesesteak. That one I thought was going to go undrafted, honestly. And it's trying to correct it. The cheesecake, which sounds good
Which
right
cheesecake
now.
is good?
Sounds so good right now. Best dessert ever. All right, Joe.
I'm gonna go mozzarella sticks.
See,
that one's a good pick. That one's a good pick.
I'll go
That was literally the other
mozzarella
one.
sticks. You know.
Man, this one's tough. Ooh, last pick. I have a lot to choose from. Man, I'm just going to go with an easy one. You went with nachos. I'm going to go with chips and salsa.
There you go.
I think that one's a really
What
good one.
kind of salsa though? They got
I like
You want spicy or do you want like
I like
mild?
spicy.
Okay.
I like
okay.
spicy.
All right.
So what's weird is I don't know if you guys went through this, but growing up, like as a kid, when I used to dip my chips, I would barely like get anything on it, just like the juice. But as I grew up, like I scooped that shit.
No, I want
like,
that whole chip.
I get in there, dude.
I want that thing covered. I want it touching my thumb.
Yes.
My God, Heartburn City.
What did we miss here? Did we miss anything good that you guys wish you guys could have taken here looking back?
Like he took the other one that I was considering, so I don't know. Like
I think we
could
did
really
well
get
here.
into it, like jalapeno poppers, like that type of
Jalapeno poppers.
Yeah,
dude.
I know. I'm surprised you didn't take that one. You're
Yeah.
a huge jalapeno fan. So.
I mean, I still think wings and pizza are probably the two best things that you. I mean, that
Which
is
wings,
literally
though?
whatever. I personally like the last couple of years. I've been going to Brian Harris's house, which we all know is BH. We go to his house and he smokes his wings, and they're
smoked wings are
so
the best.
freaking good. Like that's my favorite you know?
Flavors.
I'm
Number
a
one.
Buffalo guy. I'm going
Yeah,
traditional Buffalo.
Buffalo.
I think it's because of Pickles Pub, but the Honey Old Bay
Oh,
wings,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Oh my!
I was saying just traditional, but if I had to gun to my head, like what is your favorite flavor you ever had? I'm probably going honey.
Dude, it
honey
is the
Old Bay.
best wing.
Don't
Every
point your
time that
hypothetical gun at me.
I have so many friends from different states just because of I went to college out of state, and every time they come here, I take them to Pickles and I say the Honey Old Bay stuff. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the 49ers versus Lions real quick. Let's talk about that recap. Crazy game. I can't, like you said, Jake, I can't believe the 49ers won in that fashion. There was a lot that went on there. So did Brock Purdy prove all of his doubters wrong, including myself.
You want me to take it first?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to start that off, which you already teed it up for me. I was going to say, well, Matt, did he prove you wrong? But I don't know. I would say that Brock Purdy is doing exactly what he needs to do for this 49ers team. I would say that, first of all, like he's playing good football, definitely good football, that's for sure. And I think that he's exactly what this 49ers team needs to potentially get over the hump. Like we'll see. He's getting they're getting a rematch with, I would say, close to the same team. Like I don't know if the defense is as good as what they had in 2021.
2019 when they played each other.
2019, yeah.
You know what else is funny real quick is that the same shit is happening that happened right before COVID is the 49ers and Chiefs played and then COVID happened. So just an FYI, if we have a weird...
why would you bring that up?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying,
Christ.
it's been going everywhere. It's not me. Someone else started it.
This is the first time I've heard about this.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's really weird.
Oh, God.
Damn it, Matt.
All right, Joe, what happened?
You know,
let's answer this question first.
Yeah,
Joe.
let me hear your thoughts on Brock Purdy.
Did he prove doubters wrong?
Yeah.
I don't think so, not yet.
Yeah, well, that's a
Okay,
good point.
and just watching him in general, do I love Brock Purdy? Absolutely. I hated Jimmy G, and my brother will tell you I was not a Jimmy G fan. He won games because he, had a great offensive coach there for him and Kyle Shanahan. And look what he did there and with the Raiders right now. He's benched, behind Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah.
Okay. Jimmy G, what Brock Purdy's doing for me right now is he's actually running out of the pocket when he needs to get out of the pocket and run. He had 48 rushing yards, I believe.
He's ran the ball a lot this
past
postseason.
week against the Lions. And
He looked like-
big situation.
He looked like what Lamar should have been against the Chiefs.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but Lamar would have actually taken it to the house. Brock Purdy,
fair.
But the one thing I still see in Brock Purdy, and I can't knock on the kid. This is his first full year of starting.
Yeah.
Like he only started 8 games last year.
Yeah, I forget about that. It feels like he's been in the league like 5 years.
For this kid to come in, and he came into the best situation you could ask for at any quarterback with the weapons you have, with the play caller you have. He came into the great situation. Brock Purdy, for me, is still making some dumb choices with the ball. He needs to still prove to me that he can play in weather, because the 2 games that we've played in weather, the game against Green Bay, you literally caught him wiping his hand off in his mid drop back, and then putting his hand back on the ball and throwing it. Yeah, exactly. In the other game that we lost against Cleveland, raining, nasty weather, he played like dog shit. I love Brock Purdy, and I will stand behind Brock Purdy. He's my quarterback now. I'll do the TO. He's my quarterback. I don't think he's proved. I think if he wins this game, I think people will change their mind. But you have somebody like a Cam Newton continue to hate on this man, but
I don't think he's hating. I think Cam. I've heard what Cam has said. I think he's giving. So if you watch the entire clip, he gives Brock Purdy props. He's just saying that he's not a game changer. And he even said it's not a knock on Brock Purdy. It's just what he is.
But how do you say he's not a game changer when, he's running for big third downs?
Because if you plug in 80% of the starters in the NFL with Brock Purdy, do they make the Super Bowl?
I think that's my bold take though, is that I just don't think that offense runs the same if they have a star quarterback that is trying to make all the plays himself. I don't even know how that makes sense, but just for me,
I get what you're saying.
You don't have the weapons that you have because Brock Purdy's making $870,000
That's another reason, right?
But I just hey, Cam. You didn't win a Super Bowl neither, and you got blown out in the Super Bowl. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah,
hopefully the same thing doesn't
it's
happen.
It's really
to Brock
bold
Purdy,
for Cam to talk shit, right? And now that he's made a Super Bowl, I'm like, he hasn't accomplished as much as Cam yet. We should give Cam his respect. Cam was an MVP of the league, and he was a great quarterback until he got hurt.
Couldn't name him as the second highest rusher as a quarterback.
Yeah, I could not do that for some reason in our little
Yeah.
trivia
No, yeah,
games.
I agree with that.
But no, I
That's-
don't think if that's my take. I don't think he's proved doubters wrong yet.
I think
I love the kid. I think he's going to be good. But I don't think his doubters he's proved wrong yet.
Well, I'm going to prove you wrong because he's changed my mind.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
for Purdy to go into an NFC championship game and not only win, but do it the way that he did, being down 24-7, I also got to give props to Kyle Shanahan because he did what the Ravens didn't do. He stuck to his guts.
You're
He
right.
knew exactly what he needed to do, and he did what they've done all year, which is run the ball efficiently and make it easy for Brock Purdy. And Brock Purdy did what he was supposed to do. That's the type of quarterback he is. Is he top, I don't know, 8? No. I mean, in all reality, like if he played for Baltimore, he's not winning that game. Like he's not making a change for us. But like for him to be able to do what he's asked to do, like, and to come back from a huge deficit, like I gotta give him his flowers. Like he did what he was supposed to do. What else can you ask from a guy?
Largest comeback in NFC Championship history.
Yeah. What else? That's the thing. Like, what else is he supposed to do? Like, it's so hard. And I think the narrative, including myself, is he was the last pick in the draft. So it's like we're all sitting there like, well, he's not gonna, be a top 5 quarterback, which is fine. Like, I would take someone who is a top 15 quarterback and win me a Super Bowl. I'd take a Jared Goff. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, you did have that. Joe Flacco was
Yeah,
that guy.
he did the same
He was
thing.
not a great regular season quarterback, but when that man hit playoffs, except for this year,
Yeah, thank
when
God.
he hit playoffs with the Ravens,
God.
that dude was a baller.
Yeah.
And I watched it. He kicked my ass in the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, I can always say
11
touchdowns.
touchdowns to
No
no
matter what you
interceptions,
say,
correct?
we beat your ass in the Super Bowl. so I will stick by that forever.
Right? Is that correct, though? 11 touchdowns, 0 picks?
Yeah. One of the
So,
greatest.
you've seen that. Like, I would much rather have a guy that wins me ball games. I mean, what is he, 21-5 right now?
Yeah, that was
record?
another question we had.
Like-
Is a quarterback win, is that a stat? Like a team win, is that a quarterback stat, in your opinion? Kinda. It depends.
I mean, yeah, because, this isn't football, but NBA, what do we judge? The greatest player of all time for me, is Michael Jordan. Why? Because he's got 6 rings. He's never lost in a final.
Can Patrick Mahomes pass Tom Brady without the rings?
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think people are going to look at that. I think that they're going to judge
But
by
I'm
rings.
asking you, would he pass Tom Brady in your mind if he ends with 5 rings?
I think Pat Mahomes has already done more than what Tom Brady honestly
So why hasn't
has
LeBron done more than MJ?
Because I don't like me personally. I don't like LeBron.
Yeah,
I'm not a LeBron fan.
Yeah.
I don't like the way he goes about it. I watched my boy Kobe Bryant shoot foul shots with a torn Achilles, and this man gets carried off by 4 guys because he's got a cramp in his calf. So that's the difference for me. Quit being a bitch.
All right, let's switch it to the Lions. Dan Campbell said this was the best shot for the Lions to make the Super Bowl and to win a Super Bowl. Do you guys actually agree with that, or do you think that it was more emotional?
I don't understand where he's coming from that. Like I don't understand. Like I haven't looked into what their free agency is like or whatever. Like are they losing a bunch of guys? Like I'm
CJ Gardner
confused. Or, like,
Johnson is the big one they have a lot of young guys under contract.
So that's I guess maybe he's like
Just signed Montgomery. Like he's
Yeah.
there. You have a hell of a duo in running backs.
Yeah, and that's like so. I guess maybe he's just like thinking like they're riding the high of like they won the first playoff game in however long. Like I get that, but like now you kind of at the same time you have that off your shoulder now. Like you have that. Okay, we're a serious team now. We got home playoff games. We've won 2 games in the playoffs. Like I don't understand why he's saying that if he's not losing a bunch of guys like in free agency and everything like that.
Because that's who Dan Campbell is.
Well, I'm almost saying it's a
mean-
ploy that he's going to use this as
I mean, look, the guy came in saying they were biting knees and ankles and this and that. And you know what? And I'm fine with that.
yeah.
Because that's the type of coach I am. Like, I'm coming in
That's
there.
what
and
I want.
Like,
I mean,
yeah.
someone
like,
who
I
believes
want to
in
be
me.
hype, Coach O'Tay, love you. Like, I get that from you. Like, I want that coach to be like, guys, man, you may have blew your last shot at coming to this point. Do I think they have? Absolutely not. Yeah. Lions are loaded. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a baller.
Yeah.
You know, Josh Reynolds, he had 2 big drops in that game. But
he played well all year.
I mean, other than that, and Jameson Williams, he came on towards the end of the season. He had a hell of a run in that first touchdown that they scored. And you have probably the most versatile back now in the NFL to me in Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah. He's going to be a top 3, I think.
It comes down to, can Jared Goff continue to play at that level?
I think Jared Goff proved a lot. Like, I think that he played so damn well. Like, I got to give him his props.
He's been shit on a lot his entire career, and all he continues to do is win football games.
I think he can win a Super Bowl.
I
personally think that.
Like, 100% agree.
I think if the Lions were in the Super Bowl this week, like, with all their dynamic weapons and stuff, like, the only thing is their defense. I think if they load up on defense, and that's what's so great about the Lions, right? They have Jared Goff coming up. That's another question I'm about to ask about Jared Goff and his contract extension, potentially. But they have so much money because they have so many young guys on offense. Like,
I saw that.
You put it all into the defense.
Like this year coming, they have like $48 million in the cap still.
They're going to be able to get whoever they want.
They definitely need to shore up the secondary, because I love
C.J. Gardner?
No, the linebacker there.
Jack Campbell?
I love Jack Campbell, but the other dude.
Who's the other guy? The guy that
with the long hair, blonde hair.
Anzalone?
Anzalone.
Yeah.
Love that kid. I think they're doing the right thing. You know, Aiden Hutchinson proved a lot of people wrong not being the number 1 overall pick. And that, that draft.
Like Trayvon Walker even fucking done.
You know, I mean, but you know, Aiden Hutchinson playing at Michigan, being a Michigan guy, like, I'm so happy for a guy like him, you know, and you could tell, you know, the emotions that he had, you know, after they won that game, you know, and then when they lost to us, to the Niners, like, you could tell, like, it hurt him.
Yeah.
Like, he felt like he let the city of Detroit down, which I don't think he did. Detroit is going to be a problem for years to come.
Yeah, I think they'll make a Super Bowl at some point.
I totally agree.
I think they might be there. Yeah. I don't know, because the Niners, I think they're building something crazy. But that was my next question about Jared Goff, because last week we talked about it. We said that we trusted Jared Goff more than Brock Purdy. So now my next question is, does Jared Goff deserve an extension, and what does that extension look like? Because, in my opinion, he looks like more than Baker. So we said Baker should get a Daniel Jones contract. So what does a contract look like for him?
I mean, I was just reading something the other day that said that, actually just today, Baker Mayfield is probably going to get roughly around $40 million a year.
Yeah. So what does Jared Goff get? Because he beat Baker.
I think Jared Goff deserves probably, you know, 40 in the 45 range there. You know, I don't know. Did the Lions really make a turn on, you know, the way that they run things? Like, we've watched Lions be bad for a really long time, you know. I think Dan Campbell's coach of the year, you know, no doubt about it. You don't go 30-some years without winning, you know, a playoff game, and you do what he did. I think Jared Goff deserves an extension, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's turned some heads. He's done a lot of really good. I mean, he was up 24-7 on us.
Yeah.
You know, and really should have finished that game out. And I don't put that on him necessarily. You know, you have a fumble by a young rookie again in Gibbs, just like we saw with Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
Like, it happens.
Yeah.
It's a part of the game.
For sure.
But I think Goff deserves, you know, 4 or 5 year deal.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty much right there with you. I think Jared Goff fits the Detroit Lions perfectly. Like, honestly, like, he's a guy that everyone wrote off, like the whole Stafford and Jared Goff trade and everything like that. Like, everyone was sending him to Detroit for his career to die, and he has been a staple in the whole rebuild of that entire organization. Pretty much, I think Jared Goff is exactly what that Lions teams need. As we just talked about, that offense is stacked. Like, I mean, they have the best tandem at running back. They have some solid wide receivers. Amon-Ra St. Brown is creeping into, like, underratedly, like, my top 5, top 6, like, receivers in the league.
Absolutely.
Like, whenever, like, I don't know if you guys watched, like, when you need somebody on third down, like, he's probably my go-to guy in the league at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
Besides Jawan Jennings.
Yeah, I've talked about that. Jawan Jennings is the best third down receiver I've ever seen.
That one-handed catch on third down was.
I swear to God, he's
phenomenal.
the clutchest receiver I've
That's the
ever
only
seen in
time
my
he
life.
catches the ball too. It seems like that's
Every time on third down, I'm like, "Where is Jawan Jennings?" Because the ball is going to him.
It's going
for sure.
But
Yeah.
I think Jared Goff is exactly what that team needs, what that city needs. Like he has embraced that. He's embraced that. You know, we're gonna bite people's kneecaps. Like we're from Detroit. Like he's everything that city needs. What his contract looks like, I think I'd probably settle in the same ballpark as you did. Like if Baker's gonna get 40, he deserves more than that.
Yeah.
So I would say anywhere from like that 45 to 48 range. Like
not 50. Right?
No, I don't think he's at that range.
The thing
But-
for me is Baker. Like, yeah, Baker won a couple games in Cleveland. And, he's been passed around to a lot of other teams. And then he finally settled in a home, which I'm happy for him. But Jared Goff took the Rams to a Super Bowl.
That's exactly what we've
And
been
now
saying.
he's taken Detroit to the NFC Championship.
Everybody
game.
forgets about that Super Bowl just because of how bad he played. But the New England defense was generational.
He was still young, though.
Yeah, he was like a baby at that. I think
was
I
still
don't think he
young.
was even paid at that point.
No,
yet.
he was still on a rookie deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like-
I think that's a big thing. I think he deserves at least 45. I don't think 50.
No.
But, he already got it. That's another big thing about Jared Goff. He got that big contract, right, from the Rams. So now he doesn't have to take as much. Like he's set. I think he missed it. I mean, if it were me and if it were you guys, I'd miss Los Angeles a little bit over Detroit. But he's embraced it. So, I mean, for him to go in there and know that he was going into a shitty situation and knowing it was going to be a rebuild and to turn it around in basically a year, it wasn't 2 years, 3 years, it was 1 year.
Correct.
He went in there and went with different guys and he dominated. I mean, I got to give him his flowers. He did really well.
Absolutely.
But real quick, Joe, I want your thoughts on the game. How crazy were you going when they were down 24-7? Jake's told me the infamous story about you breaking a chair, so I need to know what the vibes
that
were.
was I felt
That
bad
was
for
Super Bowl. It had
that
a
was
little
my
bit
That's dessert. I'm bad too, so don't feel bad.
I shattered my son's chair and I felt terrible about it. I tried to glue it back together and it did not go back together. So,
At least you gave it up.
and I don't know. How I was sitting there 24/7 at halftime was I actually had a couple of people text me and say, "Is Joe on suicide watch?"
I
No,
have plenty of
actually
those.
I wasn't on suicide watch. Why was I not on suicide watch? Because all three of my anytime touchdowns hit before halftime.
Hey, money's bigger than everything else.
So at that point I was like, all right, well, we're doing pretty good. Now, did I hit that bet? No, Kittle, you fell 17 yards short. You screwed me.
He still fucked me too.
Yeah. So, at the end of
Everybody
the
got
day,
fucked by George Kittle.
24/7. No, I didn't I wasn't really sweating. Did I drink a few more extra beers? Yeah, I did at halftime, and I took a shot of something as well. But
Like Nick Bosa said, did you see what he said?
no, I didn't.
He had a press conference after, and they said, "Are you going to have a beer to celebrate?" He said he sat there with like a shoulder. He's a really weird guy.
He is,
I mean,
he is.
Sat there. He was like, "I don't know, man. I think it needs something a little bit stronger than that."
No, I wasn't. You know why? Just I felt like, what happened the week before. Like we were getting our ass kicked by Green Bay,
Yeah.
all game long. I just felt different about it. Like I feel like Brock Purdy is finally starting to come into that I can do this. I can lead a team from behind. I didn't feel down about it. We have the best running back in the league. I don't care what anybody says. Chris McCaffrey is the most versatile. He's the best back in my eyes in this league. We have a versatile player in Deebo Samuels. We have that type of offense that can come back from a deficit of that. And like you said earlier, we stuck to the game plan.
Yeah.
We continued
Didn't
to run the ball
flinch.
17 points down. We didn't change anything. Kyle Shanahan, proved that I hope he's proved, we'll see in the Super Bowl, that, from that 28-3 lead that they had against when he was with Atlanta as the offensive coordinator.
That was the big thing that I saw. I was super surprised.
Yeah,
that he went back to
he
the
didn't
room.
press. He's just like, hey, we're going to continue to run this down. We're going to go score, and we're going to let our defense do what our defense does best. and they got a couple, they got the turnover that they needed to, and go down and tie this game up. I don't know. I just feel different about this 49ers team than I have in the past. Last year, you're looking at
the Ravens. You might want to chill.
you're looking at the years that we had Jimmy G. I just didn't feel confident. Yeah. That year that we lost to the Rams, I was just like, he's going to throw an interception on this drive. And what the hell did he do? He threw a pick on the drive. Yeah. Like, I just feel different about Brock Purdy. Yeah. I don't feel like Brock Purdy is going to force that issue of, I've seen him throw a lot of bad passes in this playoffs, like inaccurate passes.
But he came back, right?
But he
like
did.
He would stand up and do the same thing.
And he would run when he had to run. Like, I didn't feel like he was going to force something that was going to be terrible. That's going to kill the game for us.
Exactly. Yeah, I fully agree with you. I just wanted your thoughts on that game because I would have went ballistic.
No, I was like I said, I drank a few extra beers, and it is what it is.
All right, game break real quick. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl next. I did see this graphic pop up. I'll pop it up for everybody else. We did talk about a lot of different things that we would rank, but the Gatorade color odds came out I think it's Book It Sports, so shout out Trent. Gatorade color odds. Who are you taking in this Gatorade color odds? We have all plus money here for the Gatorade to be poured on the head coach. Who are you betting?
I mean, it's obvious, right? It's scripted. Both teams are red. It's got to be red, right?
That's what everybody thinks. At plus 500 is crazy.
I think that's going to move up for sure before the start of it. That's got to go to number one. Why the fuck's it purple? The Ravens made it, maybe. But
because the Super Bowl logo has purple in it, so maybe they're putting a little connection there. So you guys are putting money on the red?
What was it last year? What was the color last year?
I have no idea. Yeah, I have zero idea.
I can't remember. I'm not.
Maybe we should do some research.
Not that much of a degenerate that I didn't bet on that.
I feel like it's always orange.
I did bet on it, and I missed.
Yeah.
None is crazy.
Yeah, that's just
not happening.
Yeah. You know what?
I might throw $1 down on that.
I like the
plus 3,000.
I like the red pick. I mean, both teams are red, and I feel like statistically, maybe that lines up that like whoever the winning team is. But you know what? I can't go wrong with lime. Like,
why don't you just put $10 on each? One of them is I guess you would lose money in that situation, right? I always think
unless
it's
like purple or blue. Hit. Lose. Yeah, so I'm going lime.
Lime's a good pick.
I think last year was orange, actually.
Yeah, I think it was. Oh, yeah, here it is. Maybe this is the picture from last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
So are you riding with orange or red?
No, I'm riding with red. Both teams are red.
I'm going to go with orange here. I feel like I could be wrong and there's no statistical advantage here, but I always feel like it's orange. Yeah. I always feel like it's nothing to do with the team and I'm always pissed off. Yeah. Do you guys bet on the national anthem? Because that's my favorite part of the Super Bowl.
I think I did last year.
Yeah. The over-under?
And it completely
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because you did some massive research on it. I think it was she had never gone over or something like that.
And she went over.
She went over
by 0.7 seconds.
Yeah.
It really pissed me off. So the props are really fun.
Everybody was talking about? What about what was that? Chris Stapleton?
Yeah, he was great.
He killed it.
Yeah. Oh my God, the best.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who's doing it this year, but all right.
Reba McEntire.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who Reba is.
You don't know who Reba is?
Shit.
No, who is that?
Oh my God.
Cultured.
Who is it?
She's
no. Let him explain.
The red-haired country chick that she had her own show, Reba.
Yeah.
No.
What's she saying?
One of the greatest. Yeah,
no, give me a song.
All the time.
Come on, Mr. Culture.
I don't know what song.
Give me a song out in Georgia.
I have no idea.
Play it on my iPad right here.
All right, vibe check. Joe, how you feeling about this game?
Vibe check. I'm not feeling very good, to be honest with you. I mean, we're playing the GOAT, right?
Yeah.
We're playing Pat Mahomes. We're playing Travis Kelce. I love my Niners, and I've been a Niners fan since I was probably 3-4 years old.
Yeah, why didn't you make him a Niners fan?
I fucked up there. Yeah, I fucked up there. And, I wish I would have because all three of my kids aren't Niners fans. You know?
How?
I have a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I have an Eagles fan, and I'm still trying to sway the 3-year-old, but, he's more into animals, so he's kind of like a Lions. He loves lions, so like he was telling me Lions were going to win last week, and I had him decked out in 49ers gear.
No.
So I kind of felt, maybe a little bit of child abuse because I was decking him out in, Niners gear, and he was calling for Lions. But, like I said, man, it's hard to go against Pat Mahomes. It really is. I love my Niners. I haven't seen us win a Super Bowl since I was 7 years old.
Do you feel
I feel confident about it because we don't have Jimmy G. I just want to say that. And I feel like our defense is going to play better. We're not very good in the first half with defense. Steve Wilkes definitely does a very good job making adjustments at halftime, which he did against the Lions, and he did against Green Bay. Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes. He's good. He's good.
So
and Travis Kelce has, he still shows why he's probably going to go down as one of the greatest tight ends of all time.
Yeah,
in my eyes, behind probably Shannon Sharp. I think Shannon Sharp's a stud. And that was more of my era of younger, when I was younger.
Gronk? What about Gronk?
I mean, Gronk, but I just thought Shannon Sharp just did different, like the way he played the game. I love the way he talks shit. Like I loved Shannon Sharp.
I hate him now. I can't stand him now. He won't shut the hell
up.
Do
I think we win this game? Yeah, I think we bounce back and win this game.
Vibe check. Are you excited about it? Like a lot of people are shitting on it, like saying like it's a shitty Super Bowl. It's been a shitty year. Like,
see, I don't know. So my thing is, I don't know if it's the influence from both of you or just what it is, but like I'm kind of a Chiefs hater now, to be honest.
I'm
I feel the same way.
Hater.
Of course you are, obviously, but I don't know if it's the same way that I felt about the Patriots when they were in their dynasty. Like not towards, and I guess towards the end, like I was a fan of Tom Brady, like we're witnessing greatness and everything like that. But right now, I'm still in the midst of like these motherfuckers make it every single year. I'm tired of seeing these same motherfuckers. Like I want someone to bring them down, and so that's obviously I'm rooting for you, but I'm also just rooting for the fact of I'm tired of seeing fucking Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and not I know we talked about this, but Taylor Swift, Brittany Mahomes, fucking that motherfucker.
No,
Jackson
Brittany Mahomes.
Like,
no, we can hate on Brittany Mahomes here. This is a safe space for that. Yeah. She's a bitch for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling. Go Niners, baby.
Yeah,
go Niners.
I don't even give a shit. Yeah, I guess go Niners. I mean, I have no hate towards the Niners. Like, I think they're building something that's great, and I think the first step for that is to win this game. So I just hope that they bring down Patrick Mahomes and maybe stop their dynasty because they have two, right? They have two since Mahomes. So this would stop the dynasty technically because everybody names a dynasty without the 3 Super Bowls, but they need that third one. So I needed to change. What's your favorite matchups in the game for both of you guys? What are you looking forward to seeing? Last week, for me, it was like Kyle Hamilton against Travis Kelce. Like, what are you guys looking for in this game?
I want to see, daggone, I know Snead, right?
Yeah, with
Snead,
Jerry
the corner.
Snead. Yeah.
I think he's gonna try to man up on Ayuk,
Yeah,
and
good
I think Ayuk is gonna. I think that's a really good matchup that I want to see. I really want to see our offensive line against their defensive line. That's a big thing for me.
I think they're a little bit underwhelming. I know that Lamar Jackson was strip sacked last week, but in my opinion, like it felt like he had a lot of time in the pocket, and I just feel like the
strip
Niners,
sack though,
it was long.
I think Ronnie Stanley kind of
fuck him. I don't even want to talk about his bitch ass, fat for nothing. Matchup.
All right, yeah. So this might be a little general, but I'm picking. My matchup that I want to see is Kyle Shanahan against Spags.
It's gonna be so
awesome. That's like after seeing Spags do what he did against the Ravens, and I think a lot of that was self-inflicted. But I want to see what Kyle Shanahan has drawn up because I'm at the point for some reason I've lost a bit of faith in this 49ers defense. Like the loss of Talanoa Hufanga and stuff. Like I feel like they've been a different defense.
Great job pronouncing that. I could have never done that.
Like I still believe in Fred Warner and all that. Like Nick Bosa, obviously. Dre Greenlaw is a fucking dog.
But how many holding calls will be called on Nick Bosa?
Not now because Nick Bosa called it out. But it's a smart move. He went to the press conference and said, he went to a press conference and said, he was like, what have you seen on tape from the Chiefs, and he said, yeah, they hold a lot. Nice. And I was like, smart move, dude. Right that is mind games right now the offensive line is going to try to not hold to prove a point that they can block him without it, and the referees are going to look for it.
Jawan Taylor is probably the leading tackle in penalties.
Yeah, I thought the same shit. Buddy.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to the Shanahan against Spags matchup because I think, because what I was saying was I feel like I've lost faith. So I feel like the Chiefs are going to be able to score points against the 49ers, and I think that the 49ers just need to be able to move the ball.
It'll be second half adjustments for me again.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I feel like. I don't know. I'm back and forth because, for me personally, it's going to be Kyle Shanahan in the second half. So Kyle Shanahan versus the second half is my matchup. Will he stick to his game plan like he did last week? And if he does, I think they have a chance to win this game. Yep. If he goes to what he did with Atlanta and San Francisco, try to throw the ball too much, it's going to end up bad. That's what I personally am excited to see is Kyle Shanahan. I mean, what is this, his third Super Bowl? He's got to know at this point, and I think there's going to be a huge conversation about Kyle Shanahan if he does the same shit again. But yeah, so if the 49ers win, let me start this again. If the 49ers win this Super Bowl, Joe, are they one of the greatest football teams of all time?
As in talent-wise?
Totally. Are they one of the greatest champions of all time?
No doubt. I think they are.
Yeah.
I think they are. They have a great tight end who just continues to somehow get 1,000 yards receiving, year in and year out with all these weapons. You have arguably one of the greatest, talented running backs of all time. You have one of the most versatile players of all time in Deebo Samuels. You probably have one of the best left tackles of all time in Trent Williams. Ayuk is, pray to God that we can sign him back this offseason.
They'll be able to sign a lot of guys because of the quarterback.
Yeah, you're right. You got Nick Bosa, you got Javon Hargrave on that defensive line with Eric Armstead. And the one thing I want to throw out there is about us benching Chase Young possibly because of his, poor play. They were saying that he takes plays off. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, he's played like shit.
Ward has done his thing at corner. I love, with Hufanga out, I love what Jair Brown has done for us, the rookie from Penn State. And even old man Gibson over there is making plays. He's the one that came up and made Gibbs fumble in that game. Then you have two great linebackers. I'm seeing a resurgence of Patrick Queen and Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman.
Yeah, don't ever compare those two.
you have Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. We have a really good team top to bottom. The only thing that I am really scared about is our rookie kicker.
Oh yeah, Jake Moody. He was so good in the beginning of the year.
Man. He's very sketchy.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, so what's our cutoff here on greatest teams of all time?
So obviously. Even though they didn't win the Super Bowl, the 2007 Pats.
Right. But are we cutting it top 5 greatest teams? Or
let's go, yeah. Are they a top, I'll even say this, are they a top 5 greatest team of all time?
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say on paper, so I would answer this question in 2 different ways. Talent-wise, I think absolutely top 5 teams, best of all time.
Yeah.
The reason I say I'm sketchy on saying yes to just top 5 in general is because I feel like they have to be there has to be, if I'm considering a team the greatest of all time, they have to be someone that is either like a Patriots who have the best offense by far compared to every other team, or the 2000 Ravens who had the best defense arguably ever. They have to be someone that is leading the league in some sort of statistic, and I just they're not at that point. But talent-wise, I don't know if we, especially modern day, you don't see a team like this modern day with this many talented people in the game. And I'm not trying to shit on Brock Purdy or anything like that, but I feel like for greatest teams of all time, you have to look at the quarterback as being one of their best players, if not their best player. And I would say Brock Purdy is there's just so many good guys on this team.
I just want to say that he led a lot of leagues in statistics.
I was going to
this year.
say, is the 2000 Ravens one of the greatest teams of all time? Because if they are, they had Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
And if you look at the 85 Bears, I couldn't even tell you who the quarterback was.
See, well, that's the other
Jim
thing is
McMahon?
like.
Yeah, Jim McMahon, yeah, I guess. But
See,
I'm
well,
a
like the other thing
casual
though is
when
like
it
that
comes to
2000 Ravens team, although not a stellar offense, like their defense was so dominant, they got them to the Super Bowl and they won the Super Bowl. So like that's kind of where my line is just like so skewed, I guess. Like so, talent wise, absolutely 100%. I would say even in the top 3 of all time of like, but greatest team of all time, I'm probably putting them in like the 6 to 8 range.
I mean,
would
you
say.
have to put the greatest team of all time is still the 72 Dolphins, right? Undefeated. Like,
so I think it takes. So I think it comes with eras too, right? Because I mean, 72. Like I think a lot of the teams from when the passing became like more evolved. I think we're gonna see a lot more great teams. Because for me, the 49ers are a top 3 like team of all time, just because not only would they beat Patrick Mahomes, who's gonna end up the greatest quarterback of all time. I think that also they're one of the most talented teams of all time, like you said. And I've just never seen a team be able to play on the offensive side of the football and make it look so easy and then have a defense that is so talented. I've just never seen that in my life. And I've said it from the beginning. I think they're one of the greatest rosters of all time. And I think they'll be one of the greatest teams if they beat the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't.
It literally
considering
comes
that.
down to this game for us.
Yeah.
You know, like it does.
So how do they contain Patrick Mahomes?
You have got to get pressure on Pat Mahomes.
Yes.
If you don't get
Yes.
pressure on Pat Mahomes, he's going to pick you apart. I don't
Preach.
care. I don't care.
Preach.
I don't care.
Preaching.
I don't care if you're a man-to-man. I don't care if you're in zone. We saw there was a lot of contested catches. 21, I believe, by the Ravens. He was on the back of the receiver. Phenomenal coverage.
Yeah, Brandon
and the guy.
Stephens.
Pat Mahomes is just putting the ball in places that only his receivers could catch it. I don't care if you're in zone. I don't care if you're in man-to-man. Pat Mahomes, you have got to get pressure on Pat Mahomes, or he's going to tear you apart. No matter if you're in cover 0, you're in cover 3, you're in cover. I don't give a damn what you're in. You can run 6 DBs back there. Pat Mahomes is that guy. You need to have pressure on him.
And he's so good at running the football too. So it's so
And that's
hard,
it. Like, you still have to respect that part of his game.
which is crazy.
As
that he can
in,
do both.
like, you have got, like Lamar, in a sense, you have got to make sure he doesn't get the edges, for sure.
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes is the guy, like, you don't know what the hell that guy's going to do. And that's what really puts him in that category of greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
It's pressure for me.
Yeah, no, it's I said the same thing last week about the Ravens against the Chiefs, and I guess like I don't thinking back, like I guess the Ravens didn't get to him as enough as they needed to.
But it felt like he was running around a lot.
Yeah, but that's why I'm kind of like, do I really
gotta
want to go with the
sack
same
him.
thing?
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
that's the thing is
Gotta
you
bring
need
him
to
down.
contain. I said the same thing last week. You need to contain him in the pocket and get to him ASAP because he is one of those players. I mean, someone like we'll never see again, pretty much. Like he's one of those once in a lifetime sort of players where it doesn't matter whether he's in the pocket or outside the pocket. And I said it last week when I was talking about the Ravens getting to him is that when he gets outside the pocket, I think he's even more dangerous than when he is inside the pocket because it's hard to hold up in coverage for more than 4 seconds. Like it's hard to do that, especially in the NFL. Like what I don't understand. How the fuck does someone like Travis Kelce always get open?
It doesn't make any sense.
Like he is not an athletic freak or anything.
And
like
how
that.
is he great after the catch? Because it looks like he's not even
running
like
in slow motion?
But you tabbed on it earlier. Andy Reid. Andy Reid lets these guys ad lib in practice.
Yeah.
And just do nonsense shit. I mean, you saw that one where they jumped around in the huddle and then they ran to the formation and ran a play.
they let
like,
Mahomes throw underhand.
I
in
literally
practice.
watched them run our 7U offense years ago when he did all 4, all their backs had their hands on the ground.
Yeah.
Like he allows those guys to do that type of things, and that's how they do that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is going to sound nuts, but I think what the 49ers have to do is make Patrick Mahomes throw not because of Patrick Mahomes and his ability to be able to throw the football. It's great, but when you stop the run against the Chiefs, it's what Tampa Bay did a couple years ago when they beat Patrick Mahomes. They could not run the football. Mahomes was throwing the ball every single play. Like any quarterback who has to throw over 50 times in a game is not going to win a football game most of the time.
No, you're right.
I mean, for any quarterback, you say like let like certain quarterbacks throw. You say the same thing about Purdy. Like if it's the same for both quarterbacks, whoever has to throw the ball more and cannot get the run established is going to beat the other team.
Agreed.
So I just think it sounds nuts to say like let Patrick Mahomes throw, but if you make them one dimensional, like they're not going to win the game, and that's what Tampa
especially
did.
this year because they have been that 1-2 punch. Like
And they don't
Pacheco's
have
been-
that guy. They don't. They have Travis Kelce, but
Our,
like,
our best chance to win is they played Kadarius Toney.
facts. All right, score predictions. Let's go, Jake.
Oh, this is a tough one. This is a tough one.
The spread right now is -1.5 49ers.
Really.
Last time I checked.
I am gonna go 31-27.
Fucker just stole my damn thing.
Did I? Yeah. 31-27. 49ers.
All right.
That was a tough one to get out. It could have went either way in my head.
I mean,
but-
it can go either way
Yeah.
here. That's why it's
Are you
going
gonna
to be
take
that
'em?
game. Who, Niners?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Taking the Chiefs?
No, I'm taking the Niners. I think we get over the hump.
Wait, what are you about to pick? Because I'll
Hold on.
change it up.
I'm going to let him finish.
I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go 28-24 49ers. Brock Purdy leads them on a game-winning touchdown at the end of the game.
I am going to do this specifically for you. I'm going to go with the Chiefs, and I'm going to take them
Thank you.
35-20. So I'm going to take
Oh,
the
my.
Chiefs in a 15-point win just for you. I can't pick against Mahomes after what he did.
You're right.
And also, hopefully, it comes back on me because I hope the Niners win. Last question before we end it off is: would you rather watch a? Let me restart. Would you rather watch the Super Bowl at a friend's house or at your own house for a party?
Well, for me, I'd rather watch it at a friend's house because I can't break anything in their house.
No teams involved that you like. Would you rather watch it at your house?
I'll say the last 4 years, and probably more than that, because when you were in high school, we went there. I've been watching it with Brian Harris, BH, for the last couple of years, and honestly, we all put $20 in and have a huge parlay bet that goes on.
Try to
So,
win a milli.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm probably gonna say. See, it's tough because my. So I will say.
So would you rather host it or
Right.
be
Yeah.
there?
I would. So I'll explain in a second. I think I'm gonna go still at my own house.
Okay.
The reason I wasn't sure how I wanted it is because it's a lot of preparation. And like you want to impress the guests and like you want to have all the food and everything like that. So that's the reason why it's stressful on doing it at your own house. But at the same time, it's like once you're done, you don't have to go anywhere. You can drink as much as you want, and you can just sit there and enjoy the game. And no matter like if your team's not involved, you get to watch. Hopefully, you get to watch a good Super
And
Bowl.
usually all that food stays at your house.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's also a good point.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Great
Yeah. So you're very superstitious too. Like, team's
So
not
this
involved.
is
Team's
no
not
team
Yeah.
involved. So if the Ravens were playing, I'm saying here with only my family, no friends. But if
Okay.
I'll go with going to a friend's house, just because of not having to prepare. We've done it before just for regular season games. Super Bowl lifts that up even more.
Yep.
Like you need to prepare the best food. Like if you mess up, you're fucked.
Yep.
Like you're just embarrassed.
Yeah,
at that
people are
point.
going to be like, we ain't going there ever again.
And then the point about staying at home, not having to drive, is a huge, huge thing. But just being able to not having to prepare, and then most likely the people are nice enough. They have the alcohol provided, they have the food provided.
True,
So you just bring one bottle, you save money. So
Yep.
And I also think that everybody needs. So do you guys think that everybody needs to bring a dish or alcohol to come to your Super Bowl party?
I mean, I honestly don't think everybody needs to bring something. when I go to somebody's house, I usually bring a dish or I bring my own, what I'm going to drink. Or, if everybody else likes to drink it. But we all kind of just share. You know, we all fair. Just share drinks. Like, hey, man, I want to try that. It just, it to me, like I provide all the food at my fantasy football parties, like we buy everything. Nobody really has to bring anything besides your $35 to buy into the league.
Right.
If you're known for having a very good dish, absolutely, you are required to bring something.
Tellurian's egg rolls.
Exactly. That's exactly what my mind popped to. Otherwise, it's BYOB, BYOL, whatever you want to fucking call it. Like, I'm not providing alcohol for you. Like, I don't know what you like. Like, I'm gonna get plenty of what I drink. If you like that, go ahead.
Yep.
Drink
Yeah,
some.
if you come to a Super Bowl party and you don't bring your own liquor or alcohol, like you're one of the people where I hate you.
Yeah.
Like,
Why did I invite you?
Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't make any sense. But we will end it with this. I will wear this with pride. Joe, thank you for joining us. I really hope the Niners win. Only reason I picked the Chiefs. So go Niners. And thank you guys for joining the very first, technically, Off Script podcast. And we will see you guys next week after the Super Bowl. Hopefully Joe didn't break any chairs. And hopefully Jake is happy enough to talk to his brother. So we will see you guys next week after the Super Bowl. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button below and also the like button and the notification button to get notified every single time that we post, and follow us on TikTok, all that BS. Thank you guys, and we will see you next week.
They know that I'm him, all of this time in the gym. Shots don't never touch the rim. They know that I'm him, got the defense overwhelmed. Do they know highlights of them? They know that I'm him, don't believe me, check the film. Ayy, any court in any field, ayy, yeah, I'm Hall of Fame